So 319, today we're talking about some standouts in yesterday's matchup between Dallas and Edmonton. And game two, Edmonton ended up fighting their way back. And I think when you look at the Oilers of the last four teams remaining in the conference finals now, I think they're the most resilient of the bunch. Just in terms of they can lose by a landslide in certain games, they can find a way to come back and they find a way to even have crazy games like this where last game Dallas scored 5 goals in the third period, and this game they score no goals at all in all three periods. So with Edmonton, they were just playing a great game, all around great effort from them. They had a lot of depth scoring, a lot of depth involvement from their offensive group, which is really good to see. And as you get deeper in the playoffs, they need those depth guys to be able to be depth guys and be able to provide some offense and chip in a little bit here and there, like Brett Kulak and Connor Brown and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins got the first goal of the game. He's not really a depth player, but when you look at the Oilers and their depth scoring, I think it's one of their biggest attributes and biggest assets when they have it going and when it's going strong. And they don't need to fully rely on McDavid and Draisaitl all the time. They can rely on those depth guys, those key guys who can play their roles effectively. And they did a good job of that yesterday. And we look at Brett Kulak, who you could argue is one of their best transitional defenseman in terms of how he moves the puck, how he's able to activate in the play, how he's able to be a threat offensively. And I think with Kulak and just his overall involvement in the play, he's an underrated threat as a two-way defenseman who can play all facets of the game and can really be involved offensively and also defensively as a shutdown D. So I think with Brett Kulak, he had a great game. And of course, Connor Brown, I think, is historically pretty good in the playoffs too. And not only with the Oilers, but also the Leafs in the past. And I think he's provided that impact in more of a bottom nine type role there. So with Brown, he was effective. I think McDavid and Draisaitl were noticeable, but it was good where they didn't have to fully rely on those guys to be able to be threats offensively all the time. And they relied upon more of their depth guys. Their depth guys were able to contribute and just be active all around the play, which is really good for them. And they did a great job with that. And outside of that, I think the Oilers are just playing really effective hockey, not only transition, but also in the O zone, being able to have numbers up ice, being able to have numbers in the offensive zone, being able to have close support and frequent close support. I think they're doing a great job of being able to be involved there and being able to contribute in many different ways. So it was great to see from that perspective. And I think we're going to see more of that. If the Oilers are able to advance, they're going to have those depth guys contribute and also just be able to have numbers in transition, be active up ice, have some speed going. I think once they get back to Edmonton for game three, it's going to be a really unique effort. They're going to come out very strong throughout those games in Edmonton as well.